I had an idea for a cute snowman project, so I headed over to my local lumber store and picked out some wood spindles. Then I had my husband cut them out for me. Next, give them a good thick coat of white paint on all sides. Now it is time to give them character and dress them. Before we clothe them, we will put their faces on. I freehanded their faces, but if you need some inspiration, search up snowman face on the internet and you will find all sorts of cute expressions. My snow family consists of a dad, mom, brother, and little sister. I chose to give each a different expression and one that was fitting for their personality. When all of their faces were done, it was time to dress them. For the father, I created a long toque by cutting a piece of cotton fabric that reached around the top of the snowman head. Start gluing at the front by gluing the middle of the fabric to the front of the snowman head. Then glue the seam of the toque all the way to the end. Next, glue on a piece of jute ribbon as trim for the toque. You may need to double up the ribbon so that the fabric won't show through, as I had to. Next, bend over the end of the toque, tie it with twine, and snip off the excess twine. Next, glue on brown jingle bells as buttons. Lastly, cut a strip of the same fabric and make it into a scarf for the father. Tack it in places with the hot glue so that it lays nicely. For the mum, I created her hat out of a 2-inch wide piece of jute ribbon. First, cut a piece long enough for her hat. Next, fold the end of the ribbon and glue it to the back of her head. Then trim the toque with a decorative piece of ribbon and glue it all the way around with the seam at the back. Then tie the top with a piece of twine and trim the excess. I cut long strips at the end of the toque. Next, cut a piece of ribbon long enough to make a scarf and glued on a couple of rusty jingle bells as buttons. Follow the same instructions for the little boy and girl snowmen. Now it's time to enjoy. Set them up in a little wintry spot in a place where everyone can see them and admire them. Start out by sanding all sides of the different bowls, pot, and saucer for the glue and paint to adhere to. Remember to give them a really good sand in the areas where you will be gluing them together. Then wipe off all the dust. Next, apply a line of E6000 glue to the rim of the bowl and then place the other bowl on top of it, rim to rim. Next, apply a layer of glue to the rim of the round bowl or vase. Turn it upside down and place it on top of the two bowls that are glued together. Now put a layer of glue on the rim of the pot and then turn it upside down and glue it into the base of the saucer. Take the snowman body and head outside and spray with a white spray paint that can go on ceramics. To make the nose, get a sharp knife and carve the wine cork into a pointed end like a carrot. Cut some little divots into it so it looks rough like a carrot does. Paint it orange with acrylic paint. Now paint the hat black. I did this with black acrylic paint. Let dry. Now it is time to paint some trim on the hat and also the scarf. I saw that a hot color this holiday season is a beautiful shade of deep green. Paint a thick line of green paint all the way around the base of the snowman head. Then paint a thick line of green paint around the top of the snowman body. This will give the illusion that his scarf is all the way up his neck under his chin. Then paint the tail end of the scarf hanging down. Make sure to paint on some fringe on the end of the scarf. You will need to do several coats to get full coverage. Place the cork on the snowman face and trace around with a pencil so that you will know where the carrot nose will be. Using a stencil with various sizes of round circles, I mapped out the snowman mouth. Paint all of those circles black and let dry. Using the circle stencil again, draw 2 circles above the nose and these will be the eyes. Next, using the circle stencil, we are going to put some buttons on the body of the snowman. Draw 2 circles with a pencil and then paint fully in black paint. Put the side of the brush with the paint on it next to the edge of where the scarf will be hanging down and paint a line. It will look like the top piece of the scarf is shadowing the underneath piece of the scarf. Now it is time to add the carrot nose and glue the hat on to the top of the head as well. Now it's time to enjoy your sweet little snowman. Look how cute he turned out. You would never guess that he was made from dishes. Happiest of holidays to all of you.
I was passing through Walmart and found the perfect start to my latest project, $2.50 for this rubber ball. But first I got to get is a base. I have this round one and it's going to be great. You can use a square piece of plywood, but I've got to use glue to hold the first ball to the base. This is construction adhesive. You can use anything you want. I put it to the base and the ball, and then I'm going to place it on there. Now I know what you're thinking. This is not going to hold it in place. You're right. But the next step is to grab some expanding foam, especially the bright white. That is what we definitely need for this project. Once we get it all glued up, what we got to do is go around the base with the expanding foam. Not too much. We don't want it to expand and push the ball away from the base. But if you know expanding foam, it is sticky, and it's going to be great to hold it down while giving it a firm base. Once it's held down, go up and down the sides and all around, and that's going to stick right to the ball. It's going to look like snow, which is a great start to our project. I also almost forgot, we have to get a black ornament, take the top off, and this is going to be like the vest or the gumdrop that goes up and down on the snowman. So we're going to put that in place while the foam is still sticky. It will stick there, just check on it. Now it's time for the second layer. We're going to grab a smaller ball and put that on top. Once we get the foam on that, it's time to go to a third one. Now I got this one for only $1. We're going to cover Spidey up here real quick, but we're going to finish off doing the second layer. Always put a layer of the expanding foam down between the two because it's so sticky, it's going to hold it in place. Once we get it all foamed up across the front and everything, what we got to forget though is make sure we get some eyes made. We got to make the eyes, mouth, and the nose. I took some little round pegs, painted them black to look like the coal that goes on the face. Go ahead and paint it on the top and the sides, and then what we're going to do is put it in place. Now it's a little tricky to make sure we get the eyes right where we need them. Take your time, but you stick it right in there, and I promise they're not going anywhere. They're going to stay right in place. When you're doing the mouth, start at the very bottom one, put that one in place, and then we'll go up to the cheeks. Start on the left side, then go to the right, and then you're going to fill it in right in between. I took a piece of wood, painted it orange, and sharpened it on the tip, and that's going to hold it right in place. Now it's time for the most important part, and that's that top hat. I cut out this wood round on a little 16th inch piece of plywood, took a planter, glued it in place. Don't worry, the glue's going to stick out a little bit, but we can always clear that off. Once it dries though, we can touch it up with a little more black paint. Now we've got that top hat made. Let's go ahead and put it in place. That foam is still sticky. We can just set it right there. Now we got to decorate the hat, put on a scarf, and here it is. We got our little snowman and it's ready to go. Once that foam dries, it is solid to the touch. It's not sticky anymore. I think our snowman turned out really good. And the great thing is you can put him outside because it's going to be waterproof, especially with that foam. Now with this hat and his scarf, he's ready to go. I hope you enjoyed this project. Thank you for watching Home Talk, and we'll catch you next time.